Hello and welcome to a first look at the Mageseeker, a League of Legends story. This is demo footage which I captured at PAX East 2023, about a month before the game comes out. This game is an ARPG focused around Sylas, our favorite shirtless champion. I'll be going through the footage of the game and talking about the mechanics and how I felt about the game during this video. So let's hop in and I'm going to show you a bit about the Mageseeker. The demo footage starts with a cutscene which summarizes Sylas's background. If you haven't read the comic that's about Sylas and Lux, I highly recommend it. It's very good. There's actually a couple scenes from this introduction that are taken directly from that comic. Sylas is a magic person in Demacia. Demacia does not like people who use magic. He has the unique ability, though, to seek out other mages, and the Mageseekers use him as a tool up until he takes their powers, because he learns, oh, I can absorb other people's magic abilities, and uses them in rebellion. This leads to him being chained up and jailed for many years until he is accidentally freed by Lux. Lux is essentially visiting him in his cell. And when she makes contact with him, despite the fact that he is bundled up in petricite, this magic-absorbing material, he's able to blast his way free of the prison and start gathering up a rebellion. This story, I think, is one that is told throughout this game. This is a single-player, story-driven game. This is not a roguelite. I have to mention that because a lot of people are saying, this looks so much like Hades. Yes, Hades is a roguelite game. This is not. This is a single-player, story-driven experience where you are playing through Sylas's story as he leaves Demacia after, as you can kind of see here, he is freed. He escapes. In fact, the game footage that I was playing started with the escape. I skipped through a lot of this because I think that people will prefer to play through it. And in this video, I'll mostly be focusing on kind of the mechanics of the game, the goods, the bads of the parts that I played. All in all, though, I like their choice to start to the game here with leaving Demacia. In the story, I believe he goes from Demacia to Freljord, so I didn't get to go to Freljord in the game. We'll see where he is here. Here are the main mechanics of the game. You can copy abilities. That's what Sylas does. If you hit somebody with your chain, you have to aim your chain, then you can steal their magic. Then you can use their magic once. There is a rock, paper, scissors system of which elements are good against other ones. So, for example, there's an ice enemy and a fire enemy here. So I'm going to steal the ability from the ice and use it against the fire, and it does a lot of extra damage. You can also dash, which helps dodge, and you have light and heavy attacks. So now if I steal from the fire, I can use it against the ice. Each time you do this, you only get one charge. You can also use your chains to move around. You can use your chains to move to enemies or to certain fixed objects. It becomes very evident when you're playing which of these you can lock onto, because your chain, as you move around your aiming cursor, this is the right control stick here, you'll realize, oh, I'm able to move this around, I can aim and it will lock onto certain objects and certain characters. It's nice to have an auto-aim feature, especially if you're like me and you're not so good at it. So here's a battle against a couple different enemies. We have a fire mage, an ice mage, and two just spearmen who don't have any magic and will attack you at short distance. So having to control dodging spells, stealing spells, using spells, and using light and heavy attacks is a big part of this game. You can also see there are destructible environments. Very important, because if you're like me, you like to collect things and you also like to break things. We can also use these movement abilities to solve puzzles and find hidden things. There wasn't that much of that in this demo, but it was nice that they still threw in some like treasures that you could find. So skipping forward, there was also a boss battle within this demo. This is going to be the majority of the footage because I think it really properly demonstrates all of the abilities thrown together. So in this, we are trying to free Kara, who is jailed beyond this fence. Wisteria is a mage who's trying to stop us, but Wisteria is more powerful than we are. In fact, she's so powerful that we cannot deal damage to her. This is a very unusual boss fight to show in the demo, but I love that they did it. And so if you probably already noticed that in the top left corner, there are now 4 different spells and a mana bar. That's the purple bar up there. I also have potions. I have 4 potions at this moment. Using the left D-pad, you can switch between spells. You get more mana to cast your spells by hitting your enemy units, whatever they happen to be. You can use any of the 4 saved up spells as many times as you'd like, as long as you have the mana for it. You can still, while you have these abilities, steal your opponent's spells, use them against each other, but that's not going to do that much right now because, as you can see, Wisteria is still the only enemy beyond this gate. So now there are more enemies I'm fighting between here. They have different types of magic. You can see some of them have these fire spells, some of them have these, I think it's supposed to be green grass. There's like a big Pokemon type matching system. I didn't learn all of it in the demo. I just saw that quick fire and ice one because that one made sense. And the 4 spells that I have in that top corner are a small AoE attack, like the one I've stolen right there, a lightning attack, which stays in one place, it doesn't follow me around, a fireball attack, and a healing attack, or not really an attack, a healing spell, but it uses more mana. You can also see there's another enemy that just got introduced, silencing enemies. There are enemies that prevent you from using magic, but you can still use your light and heavy attacks. You can use your chains to move as well while you're silenced. I didn't do that much of that just because there were a lot of buttons for me to press, and in the 20 or so minute span I had to learn how to play the game, you know, I can only remember how to use so many different buttons. So as you can see here, I'm taking out the units, I'm destroying the jail cell, there are more things showing up, I'm silenced, trying to hit things, take them out, use my magic, and use my potions where I can to keep my life up. Overall, I will also say the characters in this game, you've probably seen some of them that seemed familiar if you've seen the trailer for this game. We've got Garen, Jarvan, of course Silas, who we're playing as, Lux. Morgana also apparently shows up in this game, though I didn't get to encounter her in the demo. And I've heard that if you are a Legends of Runeterra player like I am, you'll probably recognize some of the side characters that show up, which I love because Legends of Runeterra, if you've never played it, is kind of the ultimate storytelling tool for the League of Legends universe. Going through the rest of this battle, there's new things that you have to dodge. Right there, that was actually the dev I was with who told me you should try using 3 light attacks and then a heavy attack. You can chain attacks, and if you do them in certain combinations, they will do extra damage, and you'll end up with special moves getting used. Kind of like if you use the chain movement attack and then a heavier light attack, you will do immediate damage when you end up at whatever thing you've used your chains to get to. Alright, so we still have Wisteria attacking, and now as the Karis prison starts to get very low on life, these totems are showing up. And in order to deal damage to the prison, you have to destroy the totems. This is very much like a raid boss kind of mechanic. You have an invulnerable boss attacking you this entire time. The first time I played through this boss, this is my second time because I died during the first one. Oops, I had accidentally used up all my potions before I even got to the boss battle. That's my bad. I'm not that good at games, though I'm doing my best. I found that being able to manage dodging things, hitting things, was definitely tricky. There we go. There are now 3 totems. The prison has almost no life left, but I'm starting to get pretty weak too. I keep forgetting to use my healing spell, even though I keep getting silenced as well. There's a lot of things running around on the screen. A couple more hits, and we take it out. So now Wisteria is going to be attacked by Kara, who's free. We have freed this mage. We were sent to get out of prison. Part of this area also is, I skipped through it, but there is a plot with the Mageseekers are actually taking mages and merging them with animals, with beasts, to try to make mindless soldiers. It's pretty gross, that's part of why I skipped it, but I think it will be a very interesting part of the game itself. And that's it for my demo footage. I'm going to show the trailer that was also part of the introductory footage. And I hope you liked this video. I hope that it was helpful if you're thinking about getting the game. I will say that the game is very polished. The camera is a little janky, but I felt it was good.
Honor, duty, justice. For centuries, these were the principles by which Demacia stood. But fear corrupts even the noblest ideals. The Mageseekers abused that fear to gain power. Or so they thought. For he will show them what true power is. Demacia, the city of radiant virtue. It is time to reveal the truth of its darkness.